Hey all, Peyton Rain here with another status report. This will probably be kind of a short one, but we'll just kind of truck along. Not a whole lot going on. It's been, I don't know, it was kind of a slower hobby week or month or whatever you want to say. As far as just like things posting up, videos and stuff done. But then it kind of just started picking up again once the Vigilus open day happened. We got a lot of different kind of like news and updates and stuff like that. Blackstone Fortress came out. I actually got my copy a couple days ago now. Haven't had a chance to open it up though and actually start getting models together and try to play a game and stuff. Just super busy with work and I'm still in college right now, so just got to make priorities. Unfortunately, as much as I want to make the hobby a priority, family, work, and school keeps me very busy. So things kind of slowed down there for a good while. Just been working on a few projects here and there. My Thunderhawk, still haven't been able to get that together. It's actually still, I got it in my soapy water bucket, still just soaking. So it should be super clean of any resin release stuff on there when I finally get it out. I was hoping to get it out here kind of soonish, but a narrative event tournament kind of popped up that I'm going to be able to go to. It's actually this weekend. It'll be on the 1st of December. We'll see how that goes. I'm actually going to be taking the Carcharodons, and this one's actually, the different rounds will have different point values. So it'll be 1,000 point, 1,500, and 2,000. And just like with these narrative events in the past, they have like this Highlander points thing. So normally for your list, if you don't double up on any data sheets in any particular category, except for troops and transports, you can have more than one. In those categories, then you are considered to have a Highlander list and you get like extra points. Difference this time being, normally it was just one kind of, I don't know, however many points it was overall, but now because there's 3 different point values, you can get those points up to 3 times for each one of your lists, of course depending if you are a Highlander or not in each one of them. So I went that route because I didn't want to lose those overall points for the overall event. But that was really difficult to do. Just once you get up to that 2,000 points, trying to fill in without just, I mean, really, there's not a whole lot to do if you don't have like really expensive stuff to bring, other than you just start bringing a lot of troops to kind of fill out the points, really. But I brought kind of cheaper troops because I only am bringing a tac squad and 2 scout squads. They're not even, the tac squad in my 2,000 is a full 10-man with some special weapons stuff, but my other 2 scout squads, like one's a sniper squad, one's a shotgun squad, because that's just what I have painted for my Carcharodons actually. So yeah, we'll see how effective my whole list go. I'm bringing that Fire Raptor that was up on the page, and I'm actually bringing that in all 3 of my lists. So we'll see how that goes as well. Just from the standpoint of that's a large chunk of the points, and if it gets taken out pretty early or whatever, then then it's just an uphill battle from there. But we'll see how it goes. As far as that, I've also got bringing some Grav Devastators in a drop pod. Bringing various sizes. The 2,000 point list has a full 10-man assault squad, and my HQ through all of them is a jump pack chaplain. So we can hopefully drop in and get some good assaults and just mess things up Carcharodon style. I am going to run them with Raven Guard tactics. It was suggested by the Warhammer, was it Forge World? Someone asked the question, maybe a year or so ago, and they suggested that because they said it because they're Raven Guard successors. Now I don't know. That could have just been somebody from Forge World just speaking out of turn, and I have a whole video kind of when I kind of went over what was it? I think when I did my book reviews for the red, I think it was the Red Tithe. I kind of went into that some, but I mean I still like the idea. We're not 100% sure really where they're from, and they're probably a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But anyway, so I'm running them for Raven Guard as of right now. Just from what we have in the Space Marines Codex, that is kind of the closest thing to fluff that we have. Just from the standpoint of like, striking from the shadows, coming from the outer dark, being kind of, kind of quick and stuff, even though that strike from the shadow strategy works completely different. But I'm definitely running as a themed list. My Kakardon army already is pretty heavy last cannons because I like the idea of having general. So my Kakardon's army right now in general is built with vehicles and everything. Pretty much if it has a last cannon option, it's taking it, and then also with assault heavy stuff because before the chapter tactics for Kakardons was I think like the was it like feeding frenzy or red frenzy or something like that, and you had like if you like killed so many close combat and then you had to consolidate toward the closest right after and you got to move like so many extra inches or something out, and then like you just kept getting extra attacks or something as you killed more, like as you killed a whole unit then you would generate more attacks or something. It was I can't remember exactly, but the other cool thing though was tac squads. Every single person in the tactical squad could bring a chainsword. So like all mine have like here's a few. I'm actually painting a few extra because I need. So you can see like right there, I got the Mark III chain swords that came and the Burning Prospero. They had like a ton that actually like are like made with like a little hilt thing, so they're hanging off the belt. So like my tac squads all have chain swords modeled on them. So that's interesting, but. So I'm going to run them at least this way for now. Going forward, I might actually run them technically as Emperor Spears because there's that Black Library book coming out, and I actually did get the limited edition, and it comes with a chapter tactic card that so for Emperor Spears, they're in combat, their hit rolls of a natural 6 just count as another hit. So you don't have to roll another dice. To see if that it's not like it generates an extra chance to hit, it's just straight up an extra hit. So basically 6s count for 2 hits versus 1. So just more attacks in general in close combat, which to me speaks a bit more Kakardon to me anyway. I'm trying to see. Did I put... Oh no, it's right here. So I thought it was cool because I've always kind of had like an idea of like Emperor Spears and how they just seem kind of cool to me, and so before, and I don't have my other bright light. Maybe I'll turn this one on. That one's kind of too bright that way. I don't know if you can see. So I had a Death Watch actual Emperor Spear on my Death Watch Primaris little squad here. Just I think they're just kind of a cool looking army. There's not a whole lot of fluff on them, but with this new book and stuff, and then they actually have made Warhammer TV has made a converting video, and then another one how to paint their armor, which I haven't seen how they paint their blue. I'm trying to remember what I used. I believe it was the Techless blue was like the base color, and then I did like a dry brush and edge highlight kind of thing with is it Lorien or Luthern? I don't know, Luthern blue. But I had also used I didn't use the Nightshade, but I did use was the Guilliman blue glaze to go over it to kind of make it a little bit more vibrant blue color, and then did the dry brush and the edge highlighting. I thought that kind of worked out well. I'm gonna watch that video and kind of see what they do for they're calling sky blue armor. So yeah. But anyway, it's really with that book, and then it comes with transfers and their chapter tactics. It is making me want to make like a small contingent, which will like everything else in the hobby. It's like whatever starts out small becomes an army. They seem like a fun kind of break, a fun thing to try to paint and convert some new kind of models. But with that as well, with their chapter tactics, like I said, I kind of like the idea of the Kakardons adopting that for now until, I don't know, maybe one day we'll get the rumored fires of Syraxis, which are supposed to have some of the Badab War chapters in there. The only ones I know for sure that are supposed to, like, I think Red Scorpions, but I mean, I honestly don't know if there's any mention of Kakardons being in that one. It would be nice if they just had a Badab War, I don't know, pamphlet or something that just came out. Not even a whole rules book, but just something with lists the chapter tactics for those different chapters that they had released before. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, really, other than that, I mean, I kind of worked on my Elysian / Scions kill team and got them done. Haven't actually got to play them on the table yet, but I've got the kill team done. And then I started to add on some more special weapon options. And then it's just, again, it's just blooming. Like I said, it's just blooming into like an army. Like this ODST theme is just, I'm loving it so much, and I've always wanted to have an Elysian army, and I had bought some stuff when they had the last chance to buy, and then they just kind of sit there because I always like the idea of trying to convert them into some kind of an ODST theme from Halo. And then Puppets War has those cool helmets, so then I finally let me try it out on the kill team size and do that, and they looked amazing and awesome. And then on top of it all, the Van Star came out, so that really helped too with the bodies and the weapons. Especially the bodies look kind of power armor as far as Master Chief's armor more than they do ODST. But then with the helmets, it kind of works. So they're almost like ODST plus. I mean, I guess you call them Spartan 3s if you know about Halo. There's that new Spartan 3 program, so it's almost like an army of Spartan 3s. Which I'm not a big fan of how they went with that, just because I like the idea of the Spartans being so elite. And you still had the ODST, which were kind of like your special forces, regular humans that for whatever reason, because the whole big thing with the Spartans was they had taken these children at an early age that had certain genetic markers that they would most likely survive the process to become Spartan 2s. Because there was a Spartan 1 program that, if you read the books and stuff, that actual Sergeant Johnson, the black sergeant, which I don't think he was necessarily a sergeant. I think he was a sergeant as in the Army calls everybody sergeant, but he was actually I think he was a Marine gunnery sergeant in the books. So that's something that always kind of bothers me when people don't quite get it, because you'll never call a Marine gunnery sergeant. It's a gunny, and that's only if you kind of know him. And then I know Army, and I'm not even I myself am not even super familiar with the Army side of how they do it, but I just know a lot of times when you hit sergeant, it's okay in some cases to call a staff sergeant or a sergeant first class sergeant, and I think that's kind of where it stops. I think once you get into I don't know what they call their E7. I don't know if they call their E7s first sergeants or not. I'd have to look that up. And then they're sergeant majors, so I don't think it's acceptable or okay to just call them sergeant. But anyway, that's kind of off subject there, but anyway, so with Sergeant Johnson, he was Spartan 1, which just kind of extra injections and things that kind of enhanced. So they were enhanced humans, but they weren't definitely to the level that Spartan 2 was. So then Spartan 2s went way over, and they kidnapped these kids and replaced them with flash clones that then would die of some natural disease, so the parents never knew that their kids were actually missing. So then this government program came in and took these kids that were most likely to succeed, and I think it was I think only a third of them, or maybe even just a quarter of them, actually survived the process. That either the rest were either killed or died in the process, or were deformed in some way that they were unsuccessful in the process or whatever. So even then it was pretty risky. So I like that. And then you still had your, like I said, your ODST that maybe for whatever reason won because they were older, because it also seemed that they had to be younger age to start the process. They couldn't be an already grown adult. So it was nice. It was kind of nice having okay, so you still have kind of your special forces regular humans, but they, who knows, maybe they were getting those other injections the Spartan ones were getting, and so they were somewhat enhanced, but still special forces in that case where they got special armor and equipment and stuff. So I again, like I said, I like that idea of maybe people who don't qualify. But then anyway, then I think it was Halo 4 came along and the Spartan 3 program started, and suddenly everybody can be a Spartan. It was kind of so they had the Spartan 1 and the Spartan 2, but the Spartan 3s was to meet in the middle, where they were able to not, the Spartan 3s weren't as elite. And you know what, now that I'm saying this out loud, I'd have to look at it. It might even be the Spartan 4 program, because I want to say they did the Spartan 3, which were kind of a step down from the Spartan 2s. And And now that I say it, I'm pretty sure that is true because Halo Reach actually kind of brought in the Spartan 3 program, which was kind of a step down from the Spartan 2s, but they were still pretty well advanced, and you didn't have to be like a child. Like they could kind of do that later on in your life. And then I think it was the Spartan 4 program where they're kind of at now, where pretty much everybody is becoming a Spartan. So I can't remember. It's either they expanded the Spartan 3 to start including everybody, or they made another one. But regardless, I wasn't a big fan of that. It just, I don't know. I don't like the idea. It's like, well, then what's the point? I mean, not everybody is a super soldier. And I get the idea, like, from marketing standpoint, because they started rolling out with, like, the different armors. And, like, oh, you can now customize your thing. So, like, not everybody just has the same armor as Master Chief. Now you can, like, customize your character and, like, more immersive. Like, oh, you went into the Spartan program and now you're a Spartan. I don't know. So, I mean, I feel like that's probably why, like, ODST, Halo 3 ODST is probably one of my favorite games out of the Halo franchise, just because you got to play, like, for the most part, a regular human. Like, it didn't seem, you weren't jumping, like, you know, super high or anything. It was kind of a nice break from the norm. Of course, I still love the other Halo games, but I did like that small break, and I wish there had been a sequel. So, anyway, then the other reason being, I had gotten Halo Ground Command, the tabletop game that had came out from Spartan Games, but then their company went under and they stopped supporting it. They really hadn't gotten a lot of releases out anyway. They had only maybe a year into the release of the game, and I never got to play. I had the starter set, and I didn't get any of the expansion stuff because again, like with all the other hobby stuff, I can't just go out and buy everything at once. And so, yeah, I had bought in the starter set, and then there was no one that... I had two factions, but I never got around to building them, and no one else actually seemed interested in my area, unfortunately. And since it wasn't a supported game anymore, it was hard to, like, try to convince anybody to ever really get interested more than maybe trying to, like, play a game with me one night, and then we all have to sit and teach all the rules, and anyway. So... I felt like this was kind of a good meet in the middle, bring a little Halo into the 40K universe, and I think it's turned out pretty awesome, pretty well. And so now I am going to be in the process of converting over all the Elysian stuff I have into some form of kind of ODST looking army. So I know in the books and stuff, like ODST, like again, they were deployed kind of in small numbers here and there to support regular troops. I am going to make, basically, this is going to be a complete ODST army. There are a few instances, though, where, like, full-on, just straight-up, only ODST assaults happen. So it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility as far as the Halo universe goes. Plus, whatever, these are my Elysian drop troops that came from a different sector of, that area, and so their armor and their helmets and their drop equipment's a little bit different. So, anyway... it'll be interesting for sure, kind of converting, because now going forward with like a lot of the vehicles and like the mortar team and really any of the mortar team, the sniper team, they have some cool poses that you can't really achieve with the Van Sar models, so I'll have to see what I can do as far as if I can just take the torso portion and use the legs from the Van Sar and then put the helmet on. Like the helmet swaps are easy enough to do. It's more so like what I'm going to do with the arms and torsos. I kind of have to use the legs from the Elysian side of things because again, their posing and stuff is like really hard to do with the Van Sar models. That's one thing that's a little bit unfortunate. There's not a whole lot of options with the Van Sar models as far as leg poses. There are none that are like crouching, which is something also that I wish I had for Primaris Marines. I'd like to have like not a crouching, but like a kneeling, taking one knee like on the ground, kind of in a kneel position, like shooting a rocket or whatever, or yeah. So it'd be nice to have a kneeling model. There was two ways I think to get a kneeling pose. So there's the scouts that have a kneeling model, but then there is also, it was the old Devastator kit, and then the new one. The only thing with the new one is it has like those weird like leg grieve things that were like some sort of clamp down thing or something for since the Devastators are shooting heavy weapons. Um, so I mean, there was that. So I don't know. Like I'm gonna try to figure out a way to convert it together so it looks cool and fits well. So the heavy weapon squads might be wearing kind of like regular looking fatigue cargo style pants with kind of an armored torso thing, and go from there. So I mean, fluff wise, I might actually keep the arms they come with, and use the torsos and the shoulder pads and the helmets, and maybe say that obviously they're a little less armored with their fatigue pants and arm like fatigues coming out of their armor, just so that they have more mobility for like dropping mortars or moving heavy weapons around or something, or for the sniper teams to get in the prone position and do their stalking and get closer and all that kind of stuff. Like I could probably play it off somehow like that in my mind anyway. And then the other troops obviously are more armored up because they're the ones actually kind of running into the fray. So yeah, we'll see how that all works out. Hopefully I can achieve something that looks awesome. So other than that, I'm just working on, like I said, I'm working on my 5 Carcardons to flesh out my Devastator squad, because I'm bringing a full 10-man Devastator squad in the 2,000 point list. Because again, just trying to fill out those points any way I could. It was kind of hard of what I had painted. And I don't have a lot extra to paint. So yeah, we'll see. Plus, again, like I said, with the elite, or not the elite, the Highlander thing, it's hard to fill out the rest. But yeah, and then other than that, coming up in December, I got that on the 1st. And then on the 15th is the Games Workshop. The closest one that I have, a couple hours from me, is having their Secret Santa party that they do. So I had already went and filled out my gift wish list, and then got somebody else's, bought a few items off it, because I think it was like a minimum you have to spend 40, and then whatever. And then so I bought, I think what was it, the Astra Militarum starter set and a Sentinel for them, because I guess they have a Gene Stealer army they want. I figured that was on their list as well. So I figured like that would be maybe good if for them to dive more into their Gene Stealer ally, Trader Gene Stealer Guard, or whatever they're called. So yeah, we will see what someone gets me off my list. I didn't have a ton of models on there. I found like I was putting mostly like hobby stuff, because I have a lot of the models and stuff I need. There was like a few models that I just kind of at the end was like, yeah, I'll just throw those on. And then of course, after the fact, I'm like, oh, you know what? I wish maybe I would have put this on there, because I'm like, this would be good. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy it now, but like if someone bought it for me, even though like technically you're really just getting the money back that you already spent into it, unless you spend, like, I don't know, honestly, I probably won't see how much money I spent on the person I got, because like I said, I don't remember how much the Sentinel was, like 30 or 20 or something, I don't remember, and then the 85 for the starter, so I mean that was like $100 or so that I spent on somebody, and that's kind of the thing about it. It's like it's more about the giving of the season. So I doubt that I'll see my return. I'll probably see either enough items, the smaller items that add up to that $40 minimum, or one item that's about around that ballpark range. So we'll see. But either way, it'll be exciting. It's kind of fun just to see like what on your list that you ended up with. So, all right. Well, I'm trying to think what else really is going on. I'm trying to read the Plague War book still, so I can do a bookshelf. I really am trying to get back into the bookshelf videos and my book reviews, but it's just like I said, with everything else, it's just hard. It's been hard to find time to read. I think I'm in like chapter 6 right now, and it's pretty good. And I want to read more. I just want to devour it because it's really good stuff, but I just haven't had the time. I also got that new Blackstone Fortress book, so I'm interested to get into that and read that. I am a little upset because I'm not sure, but there was, I think it was on the Spiky Bits Facebook. No, was it? I can't remember. No, maybe it might have been on Warhammer, because somebody spoiled, or potentially spoiled, the end of the Blackstone Fortress game, where they opened up the thing in the envelope and said, hey, guess what? This is what's in the thing. And it was just like, whoa, heads up, man, spoiler alert. But like, I think he was doing it to be a troll and to be real, just for lack of a better term, a dick. And I mean, I read it, and I'm hoping that maybe it was just a troll type of thing, and that's not really what happens. And I'll be pissed if it is, because I'll be like, you just ruined. Like, the game will still be fun, but at the end, like, not knowing what it is just gonna be, that's, I don't know. If that guy ruined it, he's just, there's, yeah, just no better term other than that guy's a dick. Because then I know, I think it was Warhammer, they put out like a kind of a PSA, like, hey, don't ruin the game, like don't ruin it with and post spoilers or whatever for other people that are trying to play through the game. So I don't know if it's because they saw that post somewhere or someone told them about it, or they're just already planning to post that because obviously don't ruin this for other people. But yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, so yeah, looking forward to getting to that, and it's gonna be hard because I'm probably just gonna put the models together and start playing before everything's painted, because like I already have so much else going on. Like if I try to wait till all my models are painted, the next expansion that they're already kind of like, I mean, they've already said there will be expansions to Blackstone. That'll probably already be out before I even played through the game. So honestly, I'll probably, unfortunately, as much as it's fun to play with just fully painted models, I probably won't. At least initially, like they'll get slowly painted as I play along. So yeah, I mean that's just how that's gonna work. What else? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I definitely have like so much more I'm gonna play. Like I said, I got to get that Thunderhawk together. I still got a ton of Star Commander stuff to paint in general. And now they're talking rumors of 2019 possible Codex Space Marines coming out, like 2.0, with all these updates and new characters, and then more Primaris models coming out to, fill the gaps and bring just new stuff out. So it'll be interesting to see that. And I'm both happy, but at the same time, it's going to suck because I'm so far behind on my Primaris stuff. It's pretty ridiculous, and it's just there's not enough time in the day, not enough hours, months, days in the week, weeks in the month in the year, whatever, to get everything done, and I just have to prioritize. But I definitely have them sitting. Like I keep looking over here, I have the squads that I need to get painted sitting over there, and then after that, my Carcharodons are pretty ready as far as like. I mean, there may be a few tweaks here and there, and I have enough stuff painted of other things, like for Nova this coming year, to not really need to do anything else. I do have a Land Raider that I would probably like to get to potentially, depending upon if I want to change my list to include the Land Raider, but like I have more than enough points to meet the points limits for Nova, and especially with the Fire Raptor gunship. I mean, it doesn't transport models, but I mean, it packs about the same, if not a little bit better of a punch than the Land Raider. Granted, it doesn't have a 2-up save, but it does have a -1 to hit when it's a zooming flyer, so just kind of different things right there. But yeah, it's really kind of now, it's like after these 5 are painted for this event on Saturday, the next kind of thing really is just kind of gearing up and kind of getting ready for Nova, and also getting ready for Armies on Parade again will be coming right after Nova. I have an idea what I want to do with that, and that I don't know. We'll see, because I always want to do something different every year, and like what my plan is, and I'm not gonna spill the beans yet. Well, definitely it won't be as model intensive as my stuff has been at times. It'll have a decent amount of models, but the board will be the thing that probably takes up the most time, just because it'll be, again, something I've never done, and it's not going to be like super crazy. But I just think I wish everyone's like, oh, what it is, but like I think the idea of the models that I'm going to be bringing and the board that I'm going to be making will be something people won't have expected or seen necessarily. They definitely won't have seen it, because the stuff I'm talking about is pretty fairly new. And so I think if I can do it right, it could be a really cool looking board type of thing. Because like with Armies on Parade, I've tried to in the past. There's been a few times where I haven't been able to. And when we're really the kind of the first time I did Armies on Parade, and this last time where I literally just kind of made as cool of a board as I could, and then just put my army on it for display. In the past, I always try to make kind of like more of a scene of like people battling or something going on in that aspect, where two opposing forces on this cool scene. So more of a diorama than anything, where one of the opposing forces is usually a lot less in number than the other force, which is usually the main focus of that army on display or armies on parade. Just so that way, if there's any question, like this is the army that's on parade technically, but the other opposing force is, equally painted and just there to kind of set a little narrative for people to enjoy to look at, other than just looking at models that are just kind of looking, just like they're just standing there. I like the idea of my board telling a story or some kind of event is happening like that. So that this board will be, I would guess, like really heavy narrative for this next one if everything works out that I want. But again, with all this stuff happening at the end of the year, and I'm also looking at a move as well. So moving my family and all of our stuff. So no word exactly how that's going to work yet, but it'll also be at the end of the year. So it's looking like a really busy end of the year, to the point where, at the very least, I know Nova should not be affected by the move. It's just more or less if I have time to do Armies on Parade because of packing and stuff like that, and just, I can't be working on a project where I'm packing everything up. It's kind of hard to do that, so I don't know. We'll see. It's I guess Armies on Parade happens in October, so we're 11 months out ish, 11 and a half. Well, actually 10 and a half ish months away, and it's almost December. So we're looking 10 and a half months, because it's around the 15th. So All right, well, I feel like I've rambled on a decent amount now. I thought it was going to be a shorter video, but I like to get on my rambling, as I do, on my little tangents. So if you have any questions about what's happening, what I'm doing, about a project I've worked on, definitely look through all the albums, check out the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and if there's any thing you have questions on, or if anything you'd like to see how I've attempted to do, or if I haven't attempted to do it, I'm definitely down for ideas of certain things. So just drop them in the comments, send me a message on YouTube or the Facebook, and I'll get a look at it and get back to you. And you may see it pop up on the page or the YouTube channel. That's pretty much it, I guess. So definitely, again, like I said, like, share, subscribe, check out the Facebook page, and again, thanks for watching, and until next time.